Hello, I'm Andy, and this is my regular rundown, my monthly rundown, if you like, of the best credit card offers and promotions out there for you right now as of December 2020. I do this every single month. Other weeks, I will look at the best current accounts for your banking and the best savings accounts for your savings. But today, we are focused very much here on the best credit card promotions. I'll get into some of those best accounts in a second, but I think a heads up, the most important thing to say here is I'm going to give you the best deals. They might not be the ones you can get. This is to give you an idea of what's out there right now if you're thinking about getting a credit card for whatever reason. The most important thing you can do when you apply for any credit card, for any of the ones I talk about right now or any others, is to probably go via a comparison site. The reason you want to do this is because they will go through essentially an eligibility check, not just for the cards I talk about right now, but any others that might be suitable for you. It could be that the best ones out there you aren't going to get. You've got a low chance of getting them, but there could be one that's similar. Let's say we're talking about balance transfer cards. Maybe you can't get the one which is offering you 29 months. Maybe you can't get one that's offering you 22 months. Maybe the best you can hope for is 15 months. But at least if you do this, you go via a comparison site and you go via the eligibility checker, you'll get a good understanding, of a good sense before you apply which ones you're likely to get. Now, this is really, really important because if you apply for a card just willy-nilly, you just pick one, go for that, and you get rejected, that goes down on your credit report as you've applied for credit. But if you've been rejected and you need that card, you're going to apply again. And if you do the same thing, whether you're accepted or rejected, you'll have another check, a sort of hard search marked on your credit report. And if you are rejected, you might want to go for a third time and so on. So you want to have as little of these hard checks on your credit report as possible. So that's the most important thing. I say this most months, but it's kind of the key to any kind of credit card. Go via this eligibility checking comparison site. And my pick is Money Saving Experts Credit Club. You sign up for that and you'll also be able to check your credit report for free, your Experian credit report. So I would go there, but you can also then click through. It's already got your details and it will give you an idea of which cards you can get. Now, not every single card is going to be available via this or any other comparison site. Some you might have to go to directly and just apply for it. So if you're going to do that, you probably want to check your credit report first of all. Look at your score, look at what's going on there. If it's quite high and you haven't got anything else coming along, then maybe you can apply for one of those which aren't listed in the eligibility checkers if you think there's a good chance you'll get it. If your score's not great or there's other risks or other things coming on like a remortgaging or another loan you might need to sort out, then I'd avoid those. Go for the ones where you've got the best chance of getting a successful application through. Now, the other bit of news I want to share with you this month is if you are a Barclaycard customer, have a look in the post, have a look in your inbox, make sure you haven't missed a letter from Barclaycard because they are increasing for most customers, not all customers, it depends what card you have, it could be all sorts of other considerations into play. They are looking to increase the minimum monthly repayment across most of their cards. Now, that could be proving to be quite expensive for you. It could be quite a lot of money coming out extra every month, depending on how much you owe, depending on what the rate is and so on. But make sure you're aware of that and you see what's going on. Because if that's going to be a problem for you, then you might need to sort of try and address it now rather than leave it until all of a sudden you can't afford it or it causes problems elsewhere in your budget. Right, so let's get into my pick of the best offers and promotions with credit cards for December 2020 going into 2021. With all the cards I mentioned, I'm not going to tell you the interest rate. And there's a key reason why I won't share that little bit of information with you. Because if you're worried about the interest rate that you're going to get charged on your credit card, it means you're not managing a credit card properly. And it means you're using one because you don't have access to other cash elsewhere, or you're using it knowing you're not going to be able to pay it off. That is not a good way to manage a credit card. If you think you're going to be doing that, then you should be looking elsewhere for cheaper alternatives. Okay? You really, really don't want to be paying interest on any of these credit cards. So I am not talking about the fees at all. If that is something that does concern you, you can obviously look into that further. But ideally, you want to be making sure that balance is completely cleared every single month so interest does not get added on. Okay? Right, let's start this time with cashback credit cards. Normally I do them a bit further down, but I'll mix it up this month. Cashback credit cards, once more, my top two, my best ones that I think you should go for if you want one of these are American Express ones. The top two are the American Express Platinum Cashback Credit Card or the American Express Platinum Everyday Cashback Credit Card. Very, very, very similar cards. They will give you up to 1.25% cashback for every pound you spend. That's a little bit less on the Everyday card. But again, really, they're very, very similar. The way to sort of choose between them It's about how much you're going to spend over 12 months. And roughly, if you're going to spend 10 grand or more over 12 months, remember, you can put most of your shopping on here, supermarkets, petrol, whatever it might be. Then you want to go for the full Platinum Cashback card. If you think it's going to be less, it's the everyday Platinum Cashback card. But there are different terms and conditions and different restrictions. So do sort of read up about that. I have got a review over on the blog that you can check out with more information. They're also my top pick, not just because they've got the highest rate for every pound you spend, but also you get that 5% intro rate for the first 3 months. For the everyday Platinum Cashback card, or whatever you call it, you'll get a maximum of £100 back that way. For the full Platinum Cashback card, you get up to £125 back that way. Really, really easy money. So if you're putting all your normal shopping on there. The reason I'm leading with the cashback credit cards and those Amexes this month is because it's also shop small. This is a promotion that normally runs once a year, 2 weeks before Christmas, although in 2020 there was an extended additional time that the offer was run during the summer when the shops reopened after lockdown. But this is a great way to support local shops and get a little bit of money back for doing it. Basically what you do, you have to add the Shop Small offer to your American Express credit card. It's not just those 2 cards I mentioned, it's any American Express credit card you might have. Add the offer to your card, and you do that in the app or in the online account. And then you look on the Shop Small map for retailers near you that are taking part. And they're all essentially independent small retailers and businesses, not just shops, could be bars, restaurants, hairdressers, dentists, all sorts of different places, museums, galleries, right? If you spend at least £10 in those participating shops, you will get £5 rewarded credit back to your account. And you can use this at 10 different shops, only once per shop, but at 10 different shops. That's potentially 50 quid you can get back for buying things you're going to be hopefully buying for Christmas anyway, going out for meals and drinks, although that's a bit difficult right now, depending where you are in the country. But even so, lots and lots of opportunity to take advantage of this offer. And it is those that 50 quid cap is per card. So if you've got a supplementary card or you've got more than one Amex, you can activate it on each card and use it multiple times. That also means if you've got more than one card, you can go to the same retailer and spend your money more than, get the offer more than once. So once per card. So that is with American Express. That's why it's a top pick. Now the offer ends on December the 20th, 2020. So it might be a little bit tight to apply for a new card now and still get that, but you might get lucky. If you do it straight away, you might get the card in the post and be able to use it that weekend, that last weekend before Christmas. Now, non-Amex credit cards, because not everywhere does take American Express, still the best picks there really depend on where you do a lot of your shopping. You can look at the Amazon one, you can look at the John Lewis one, you can look at the Marks and Spencer's one, you can even look at a Sainsbury's one. They're all much of muchness really. You get additional points, extra points for the branded retailer. So for Amazon, for example, if you're a Prime member, you'll get 1.5% back on Amazon shopping. With John Lewis, I think it's a similar amount in Waitrose or John Lewis stores, M&S, so on. Everywhere else though, you're looking about 0.2%, 0.25% on every pound you spend in a shop that isn't one of theirs. But it's good to have it as a backup. But there you go, cashback and reward credit cards, they're the best ones there. Now, balance transfers, we've actually seen a bit of a change since last month. One of the top cards there from M&S, that has cut how long you will get the 0% period for on that balance transfer. It's reduced from 29 months to 25 months, so quite a big drop. But you are guaranteed to get that 25 months if you're successful getting that card. A higher card, one that is still available at 29 months, is still with TSB, but there is always the chance that you don't get that full amount. And the other thing about the TSB card, as I mentioned every month, it is not on any of the eligibility checkers, so you don't know what your chances of getting it when you apply for it. So I would only really go for that one if you've got a good credit score reflecting a strong credit report. That's not the only thing that goes into play when they're, TSB were considering if they're going to give you this card, but it's definitely an important thing to bear in mind. You might not get that card at all, and you might get a shorter period of time. If you want a guaranteed amount of time, the longest one for most people is 25 months with M&S Bank. If you have got a First Direct current account, then you can open one for 27 months, but again, subject to them approving your credit rating. Now, with all of those ones, you do have to pay a transfer fee, a percentage of the money you move over, you've got to pay. Roughly, it moves between like 2.85 for the M&S one, 2.95 for the TSB, 2.29, a lower exchange fee there for the First Direct one. It all varies. There are, however, some accounts which won't charge you anything to transfer the money over. In return, though, you'll get a shorter amount of time at 0%. Now, the pick of these probably is the Santander one, so you can apply for that one. But if you go via the Money Saving Expert website until the 17th of December 2020, you'll also get a £20 Amazon voucher if you're successful. So it makes sense to go there to apply for it to get that extra bonus on top. Now, when we talk about 0% purchase credit cards, so basically you spend money on that card, but you don't have to pay it back for a certain amount of time. You do have to make the minimum repayments though, as you do with balance transfer credit cards. Then you are looking at the best bet. As before, TSB and Sainsbury's Bank will both offer you up to 20 months. However, you might not get that full 20 months. You might get a shorter period. An important thing to say about the Sainsbury's one, first of all, you need a Nectar card, but that's free. Anyone can get that. But they won't give this to you if you are self-employed. So just bear that in mind when you're looking at the different offers. Maybe below that, M&S Bank again, they've reduced their number of months you'll get, as they have with the balance transfer card. It's now 18 months, but it is a guaranteed 18 months if you are successful. You'll also get £5 worth M&S voucher when you first spend on it, and it's one of those reward cards I mentioned just now. You shop at M&S, you'll get additional points. I think it's like £1, essentially 1% back in M&S, and you'll get about 0.2% elsewhere. So I personally think that one probably has the slight edge over TSB, or the Sainsbury's one. If you shop at Sainsbury's, you'll get some points back for that, for Nectar points. Two more to quickly tell you about. We're not doing much international travel right now, but if you are going abroad, obviously there are debit cards like Starling and Monzo, which are worth considering. But if you want a credit card, the best one is probably still the Barclaycard Rewards credit card, because you'll get 0.25% cashback, both at home and abroad. So that's not a bad option to go for. And if we're talking about credit building, if your first credit card, you're starting off, you're trying to sort of just show some responsibility, show you are able to borrow money on a credit card and pay it back to boost your score, to make more evidence in your report that you are a reliable person to lend to. Top pick is still the Amazon Classic credit card. This one would also give you a £20 Amazon voucher if you are successful. Not a huge credit limit, but the whole idea of this is to put a small amount of money on it and pay it off, then put a small amount of money the next month and pay it off, just to sort of show you can do it. Now, everything I've spoken about right now, you can get more information about it, all the links and anything that changes until the next video over on the blog, becleverwithyourcash.com. And I will link to that in the notes below so you can quickly go through and check that out. Now, if you found this video useful, please do hit that like button and the subscribe and notification bell next to it so you don't miss any future videos. Until next time, cheers. And here are a couple more videos you might find interesting.